Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. So we covered a lot of stuff in our video yesterday talking about the Lightspeed bundles that are coming to Galaxy of Heroes. And I think those Lightspeed bundles are kind of paving the way into the next generation of Swago, right? Talking about moving into the Naboo raid. But one thing that also got slipped in with all these updates is the Mandalore bonus zone information, which, as many of you are very well aware, the Mandalore bonus zone is what actually caused territory battles to crash. So we're going to be going over the Mandalore bonus zone, why it's going to be so important, and kind of thinking, getting you in the mindset of should your guild be focusing on like Mandalore as this zone, or is it better to go for Zepho? So we're going to get into all that. Please like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. If the Discord link is not working, please get me in the comments or something, and I'll try and figure out what's going on. The permanent invite, we've had to change a bunch of stuff in the server, so I do apologize. Let's get in here. Let's thank the channel members for all of their continued support. If you're ever interested in joining, that link is down below, along with that link to the Discord server. So thank you guys for continuing to put your faith in me. Hopefully you're enjoying the content. Hopefully you're getting better, and hopefully you get some laughs out of it as well. Laughs are always good. So let's get our introduction. Let's talk about this Mandalore bonus zone. Alright guys, we are back. Let's flip over to our screen capture here. Want to make sure that we've got the right, there we go. Alright, so here is the forums, and I just wanted to update you guys here. We did get an update on the territory battle rewards. The rewards will be sent out on the 30th. They will include your phase and end of territory battle rewards. So that means any of the stuff you got from wave 1, 2, 3, etc., they're going to be including those rewards as well. And then the team prioritized Rise of the Empire rewards for those who alternate between weeks. So, I mean, I think this is a good decision because most guilds would miss out on Rise of the Empire. The one thing I'll say here that I feel bad for are guilds who missed out on getting Cam shards or Wat-Tam War shards, because you don't get nearly as many light side, dark side Geonosis TBs. I think this was light side TB, so Cam shards, which, most people aren't even earning anyway, so, but it does suck, right? I think, if you were going to get a bunch of Cam shards, as I showed you guys in the math, it sucks that you didn't get Cam that time, so, again, it is what it is. So, I did want to share that, again, sent out on the 30th, so at the time of recording, we are looking at still 5 more days. I mean, that's just absurd, right? Those should have been out before GAC lock-in, in my opinion. So let's go over to the Mandalore bonus zone. So let's just start with what it's going to take to get in there, right? So there's going to be a Crate Dragon special mission on Tatooine. So I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to the old raid, right? They're going to kind of reskin some things, probably reuse a lot of those mechanics. So it's going to require Bo-Katan Mandalore at Relic 7. That's fine. Beskar Mando Relic 7. Okay, he's a requirement anyway. And any Mandalorian at Relic 7. So that's interesting there. I think, the best decision will probably just be to use, Bo, Beskar Mando, IG-12 and Grogu, Paz Vizsla, and then, you got to throw in another, whether it's the armor, you could use Maul in that team. I feel like you're going to want it to be a light side Mandalorian simply because of the Bo-Katan lead. But that's just me. Now, you must complete this 25 times. That is very interesting because if you remember to Zepho, you need to get 30 completions. So cutting it by 5, while it doesn't sound like a lot, that's a 10% reduction, right? When you think about the guild, 10% less of your guild need to complete this mission, right? You've got 50 players, right? So they're saying, hey, 5 of you guys don't have to worry about doing this. I mean, that's a big, big step. In terms of other things, right, on Mandalore itself then, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon will have a required mission at Relic 8. It is Relic 8 for platoons and the open missions, and Relic 9 for the Bo-Katan Mandalore with Mandalorians required, ships required to be 7. Here are the platoons that they have set out here. I do apologize, my fat face was blocking the way, but I think I was able to get through everything there without blocking too much. So in terms of the operations that we have going on here, so just to highlight a couple things we're seeing, I want to try and zoom in a bit because I do think this is a big deal. So up here at the top, I know my fat face is probably, oh, we're good. So Executor, that's fine, but like Lord Vader, Leia, Sith Eternal, right? We see a lot of galactic legends right here. Then in the slot 2, we're seeing Wat Tambor, General Skywalker, Starkiller, Dr. Aphra. As we keep moving along in here, again, Dr. Aphra making an appearance. Then we come over to the next grouping and we start seeing Admiral Trench, Terran Malicos. We're seeing Darth Bane even making an appearance in operations here. As we move over some more, we've got the Stap, Cup, Tusken Warrior, Nisa. So they did include some of these newer characters in the game as part of the operations, which is fine. Just sucks that it's a Relegate. You know, Stap, definitely brutal for a lot of guilds. Trench is not going to be a fun one. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people lining up for that. So, I mean, overall, I think it's pretty manageable for most guilds, right? I feel like most of us are going to be able to figure out a way to get all of these done. So, with all that said, guys, there's another section that we need to cover here, and that is actually if we go to the, like, what the rewards are. So when we flip over here, and I'm going to switch over to the Discord now. So here, they're saying, hey, for box 1, you're going to be getting 175 get 3 and 50 Kryotech. Now, I would assume that the 50 Kryotech is going to be the laptops here. And then box 2 is 350 get 3 and 50, shock prod Kryotech. This is far superior to what is required for Zepho, right? Zepho is a, 20 and 20. This is 50 and 50. So this is more than double. The big thing with this that I really like is that for a lot of guilds, this could be a really good way to increase your Kryotech. And this kind of brings together what these Lightspeed bundles are truly meant to do. The Lightspeed bundles aren't about getting you into this position that, hey, it's easier to get Jedi Master Kenobi and General Skywalker, Lord Vader. Like, that's part of it. But really what it is they can now release stuff like this and say, well, you have those things. Now you can work on Bo-Katan. Now you can work on Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. So I think if you're a guild now, your focus is going to need to be getting into Zepho and getting into the Mandalore bonus zone. Because as a guild who's getting Zepho rewards, I can tell you guys it's a massive boost. And then just to think about like those, the Mandalorians and that bonus zone there, getting those additional Kryotech is going to be really, really important as we're getting into these characters like Gungans. You think from a player like myself, where I'm going to go invest in Bo-Katan Mandalore, get her to Relic 7, like, I will be able to start earning some Kryotech back to then invest into characters like the Gungans, to maybe invest in characters like Dr. Aphra and others, and the Queen Amidala and Kenobi and Qui-Gon. So that 100 Kryotech per TB is going to be felt immediately, right? So I think that's going to be a big thing. So if your guild is somewhere where Zepho isn't a priority, I would make it one. And I think for Mandalore, for my guild, where we're kind of going to be looking at some things, is if we can realistically get those boxes, right, without doing too much work, like if we can get those rewards without going crazy, maybe we do some of those operations, that's worth losing a star over to me. Like getting 100 extra Kryotech, I would drop down 2 or 3 stars to get that kind of reward, because stars in Rise of the Empire don't ramp nearly as much. And I've showed you guys this before, where like the stars in Rise of the Empire, if we just go here, and I wanted to show this because this is a huge part of this game. Yeah, there we go. All right. And let's go here. All right, so we're going to flip over here because I do want to share the screen capture once it goes over. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're there. So when you look here, the difference between getting, like for my guild, we get like 39 stars most of the time. So you get 25 more crystals and 150 get 3. So even if we drop down 2 stars, we're still going to gain more get 3 from those reward boxes, and we're going to gain way more than 50 crystals worth of Kryotech. So I absolutely think that like dropping down a tier or 2 or even 3 stars in territory battles will be well worth it to be able to hammer the Mandalore bonus zone, because I think that is going to be just incredibly important for the rewards that they're giving out. And I think especially for those guilds where Kryotech is kind of the big bottleneck for you, these are going to be really good ways to progress through that. Now, I get it. Like, it's a lot of investment to make. But, again, I think this game has they've kind of continued to show that you invest a little bit and we're going to give you a lot more back. Like, you think 100 Kryotech for that Mandalore bonus zone, just to put that in perspective, that's 200 Kryotech per month, 2,400 Kryotech over the course of a year. If you can get that for 12 months, that is all of the Kryotech that you spent on your Mandalorians back in your inventory, and probably then some. So, probably one of the best investments you can make in terms of Kryotech in this game. Now, of course, it's going to be dependent on how many of the Relic 8s you need, how much of the Galactic Power your guild's going to need. So, I get that, right? There's some other caveats there, but I think from a pure perspective of investing Kryotech, it makes a lot of sense. So, I'm really curious to see what you guys think about that, because it is going to throw a big wrench in trying to plan for territory battles. And for those of us who are guild officers, we're definitely trying to make sure that we can figure out how to make that happen. But I wanted to share that with you guys because the Mandalore bonus zone is a really, really big deal. Like, that is something that I think we knew was going to be massive, right? We knew that it would be important. So to get that information now, with enough time in advance to start planning for that, I think a lot of guilds are going to make a big push for that. So yeah, I would encourage you as a guild, if you're not ready to push for Bo-Katan, you got to at least be pushing for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and getting to Zepho. Because it's a stepping stone, right? Everything in this game is a stepping stone. You got to get to point A before you get to point B. And so I think that for a lot of you, getting there is going to give you that leeway, that flexibility to start planning for those major farms like that. And honestly, I think Bo and her team, this is exactly kind of their model. Like the Jar Jar, the Gungan, Jar Jar and Gungans. These guys, kind of one of those situations where they're getting the raid. So I would not expect anything crazy from them in a territory battle special mission. But you look at somebody like Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, who wasn't used for the raid, and now Bo-Katan Mandalore, not used for the raid, we're going to give you a bonus zone. So I'm wondering if this is kind of the blueprint that we're going to be following in the months and years to come. That's my thoughts. Let me know what yours are down below. Again, like, subscribe, comment. If you're still watching, Wampa is king down in the comments. I love you all. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, my friends.